Hey everyone, this is Zadak Leader 635 again on Gemmy Master Animatronics, and this is, as the video says, a repair video. This is going to be a video that's going to be heavy edited and everything, you know, put part and part, maybe pictures, maybe videos, only God knows. But what's going to basically happen is I'm going to be repairing this Gemmy Groovin Chihuahua. Now you guys are going to be all thinking, wondering what exactly happened to it. What the hell happened to it aside from the corrosion? Well, yesterday I was playing with it. I just turned it on to see if everything still worked, and I did a really stupid thing, a really dumb choice, you know. And with these old mechanisms, you're not really supposed to do that. But the thing went up, and the second it goes up, I forced the arms down. Now that doesn't break it. What breaks it is when the mechanism wants to move the arms down. That's when I hear a loud snap and the arms went completely limp. There they are. They are just, they're loose. It doesn't do anything anymore. And I have a really big, thought. I'm really thinking it has to be the square shaft gear, because if the mechanism was actually broken, like not the mechanism, but the 10-tooth gear, 8-tooth gear, whatever this one uses, you would hear the gears running. But in this case, you don't hear anything. The arms are just completely loose. So I'm gonna have to attempt to fix this, and hopefully it'll be fixable. And even if the square shaft gear is not fixable, I really hope I can make a replacement or find something. But we're gonna go right into it. First of all, gonna show what it does right now. See, the arms don't even move. It doesn't even try. So something completely broke in there. And, well, I guess I'm going to start by removing the vest, so I'll be back in a second. Alright, so I'm back, and I did a little extra things. Basically, I opened up the thing, I cut the thread, and I broke the zip tie, so basically all the skin right now should be something you can slide. At least that's what I'm assuming. But the arms, the pieces of the arms, I think they are removable because they are stitched to the fabric. So I'm guessing that maybe... Yup, exactly. There's a screw in there that is going through a slot. I really don't know that much about pop culture character animatronics, but I know for a fact this does look like something that the Bing Crosbys and all those that have a turning head would have, where you have a screw that goes through a slot. You have the holder, you have the slot, and you put a flat head to prevent the head from coming off. I think it's something like that they have, but this one definitely has it. So I guess what I'm going to do is take these two screws off and see if the arm can actually be disassembled. Because I hope the other half is not stitched to anything. Nope, it actually isn't. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the screw you gotta remove to take the arm off. So I take this off, and it should, in theory, come off. That's not good. There's something up with that fucking gear then, because the whole thing just became dislocated. I'm gonna see if I can grab a pair of pliers or something and hold the shaft while I pull it so nothing comes off. There we go. So this is an actual gear issue then. It's not any of the tiny 0.5 module gears. It's actually the goddamn square shaft. So again, do the same with the other. Now, what kind of calls my attention is there's actually a hole in here, so one can see either see or just place the arm in a different way. Maybe if you have a magnetic screwdriver, you can do it that way, but it's kind of a risk, because I'm thinking that if you do that and somehow the screw falls, you're gonna have a screw around this bottom area, and you're gonna have to forcefully just move all the thing upside down. So this is the other arm. Again, entire shaft comes off. And here we have the try-me jack that they put on this one, right at a side, like a freaking butt cheek or something. Now, I'm going to be right back, because there's some grease going on. So there's some grease. If I were to take these caps off, there's some grease inside here. So I don't want to stain the cloth or anything. So what I'm going to do is, I'll be back in a second. I'll try to see if I can remove the cloth from the feet and completely get rid of the skin. So I'll be back in a second. Alright, so this is how we take it apart. There's 3 screws. When you take the cap, the entire cover that covers up the whole foot, and there's 1 screw there. There's 3 other screws that you got to take off to disassemble the foot. Now, it looks like I'm gonna have to either A, do it like this, or B, cut the wires. And I'm personally better right now with not cutting the wires, at least to try out once the thing is disassembled. So we're gonna see what happens there. It looks like I'll have to cut the wires, because I have to basically undo this right here, this little structure that's, the piece that has the hinge of both, because this is actually one of those that has like a dual leg bar, and I didn't even think it was going to have it. I thought it was only a single one, but it has 2 leg parts, the front and the back, and it has both, hinges attached to 1 piece of plastic. This piece of plastic is what attaches to the foot. It's like a little platform, attaches, to the foot with 2 screws. So I'll have to take those screws off, but first I'll have to cut the wires, and that already kind of bothers me. Of course, you guys are going to be like wondering, Ivan, why don't you just desolder the wires? I'm not really a huge fan of desoldering wires, because I'm really that kind of person that just cuts the wires, peels them again, and resolders them and everything to have everything fresh. So there's this one, and we're gonna mark it number 2, so if I mess up or anything, we're gonna know. This is the second foot, if you see it from the front, and then you have the other one, which is going to be the first foot. Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah, this definitely needs some baking soda. This fucking cover thing just comes off when I'm recording a video. You guys can tell how bad timing shows up here. Okay, so another one there. So now we have 1 and 2, and we can proceed to lift up the entire foot without doing anything to the zip tie and undoing the screws. Well, apparently I was doing it the wrong way altogether. It looks like you're supposed to take the legs off. And the reason why I'm saying that is because that's how they assembled it. It looks like, it has these connections that they probably made whenever, how's it called? Whenever they put it together, they basically just put the legs with the wires soldered and everything, and yep, exactly what I thought. They basically have the wires sticking out, they just connect them, put them in there, screw everything, and they just put the cover on. So I guess that's how it must be done. So I was supposed to cut the wires from here then. Okay then, so we're gonna have to do a few things then. Hold on for a second. Alright, so now that we are back on track, the Chihuahua works, and we're gonna cut these wires so I can, disassemble the leg. I'm pretty sure these wires come from the other leg. No, there's a certain... We'll see what's up with that, but I have to cut these wires in the middle spot. I'll just cut them here. Either there or here. I'll probably just cut them there so I know which one they're connected to. And once I have that, oh my god, the Chihuahua no longer works. So we're gonna pull the leg. And there we go. It's a pretty weird Chihuahua robot leg. So this is leg number 2. And now we gotta do the exact same thing with leg number 1. Now, special care with this leg because apparently it does not come off, and I don't want to stain the skin with grease. Then again, I should probably wash the skin afterwards, but for now I just want to fix it. If the knob can actually, there we go, it popped in place. So, as I was saying, be careful with this because the wires in this leg are not, you cannot pull them that much. So this is one that I'm gonna have to cut the wires again. So we're gonna just do that. There we go. Don't even ask me how, but I somehow managed to get the entire foot off. So that's there. And I guess now we can finally leave the skin out of this, so this Chihuahua can go to hell. Wait, I gotta do this, I'm so sorry, but the call for stupidity. Oye, ¿cómo va? Mi ritmo, bueno, pa' gozar. Mulata. So now all screws are gone from this side. It's only one side that you gotta, of course, it would be the side of the second leg. So if you see it from the front, that would be right. And we take this off. And with a little pulling here and there, there we go. There's that. Oh wow, it's a plastic speaker. I thought it was metallic. So now we have the 2 motors right here for the gearboxes. We have the things which I think they rotate at the same pace, if I'm not wrong, but I could be wrong right there. But what we have, oh no, thank goodness I took this thing apart. What the fuck is that shit? What kind of fucking insect from hell is that fucking shit? Thank goodness it's dead, but what the fuck is that? Looks like a fucking bot. I don't fucking know what it even looks like, so I'm not gonna bother speaking. This is the type of shit why you gotta disassemble things, even if they are not broken. They may have these shits inside. You never know. I'll take that off in a second, but I mean, yeah, this is pretty much the inside. So right now, one thing, special care with this speaker because these boards, the glue actually decays and the whole thing just comes off. I've already had it happening a lot of fucking times. So we won't let that happen today. There we go. This seems to be the motor for, I believe, this, and the walking motor seems to be this. I'm not really sure, so I'll take this thing apart and come with more details on it. Alright, so I got all the wires cut and everything, and pretty much there's 2 wires going to each motor for making, the arms and the walking work. But then there's a green wire that goes from here. It's like a ground connection, probably. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's ground right there. So it's a ground, like all the motors are grounded pretty much. Anyway, so yep, this is something that is broken by now. The top motor is the one that makes it walk, and the bottom motor is the one that has all the gears and everything to make the arms go up and down. It also has this sticker, which not really sure what it says yet. Let me try it up a little bit. That's just an arrow. Not really sure what's that for, but Gemmy logic. Anyway, so I guess these are square shafts. I think these should be square shafts, and what I should be doing right now is taking all these 4 screws off, taking, I don't know, the ones from this side. Are these Hoipo motors? Yup. Classic Gemmy motor. Hoipo. Hoipo. Hoipo is a company that they use a lot. You know, on Gemmy specifically, they used to use Hoipo motors most of the time. There's also Mabuchi, which is a little better, but they would mainly use Hoipo motors. So I'll be back in 1 second. So I opened the thing a little bit, and yeah, there's that fucking gear that's broken in half. The square shaft gear that moves the arms. Oh boy. There we go with the broken gears. My goodness. So what we are left with is the main functionality piece of this animatronic, which is of course the gears. We have the gears that go to the arm lifting thing, which in fact there's a shaft missing right here. Come on. Don't be a little bitch. You were there once, you're gonna be there 1,000 times. Stupid gear. There we go. Alright, so we have these gears. 10th gear, which I might replace. I just might. I don't know. I mean, I really wouldn't like to go back. And there's another bug in here. Jesus Christ. These things are disgusting. Anyway. So, our problem, however, is not here. Our problem is laying right here. This is the square shaft gear that broke due to my stupid posing, because I completely forgot that the arms went down once you turned it off. So this is what we're gonna have to either A, fix, or B, replace, which I am right now thinking. Then again, it only has one side with that. If it had both sides, it would be almost a fact. But if this is cleaned, if I glue it and then I 3D print a ring or something that fits on tight, it could probably keep it together. Okay, I'm just thinking that. I'm thinking that possibility. Of course, here's the 2 motors. Here's a large gear, which I can somewhat say it looks like what a turbo fighter has. 10-tooth gear, a large 10-tooth gear. This looks like what a turbo fighter has. Let's see if I'm right or not on what I'm saying. So I know that I have all the gears here. Oh no, wait, that's right. I have them here. There we go. Because I do have a few turbo fighter gears, and I think this is the same size. Huh. It is the same size. Check that shit out. It's the exact same size. So this thing has the gear that turbo fighters use. Useful information. The more you know. Anyways, so I guess that's practically everything for now. So I'm gonna have to set all of this aside and do something with this gear to see if I can fix it. First of all, I'll give it a good clean so all that grease is off and I can, you know, tamper with it. But other than that, this is pretty much all the thing that... So of course, the same, how's it called? At the same time I'm doing that, I could also go and take the contacts out of here, put them in vinegar, and then just resolder the, solder the springs, because that's what I usually do with toys in general. I solder the springs to the terminals. It's just a pet peeve of mine. Anyways, so this is pretty much the part 1, and we'll be up with the part 2 pretty soon. Okay, so this is what I ended up doing. I printed this one gear that I designed on FreeCAD, and here's how it looks like straight out of the printer. I printed 2 of them just to have a spare one, and I glued it to the part, to that, to the holder part of the gear. Yeah, so it keeps it together, and so far it seems to be pretty well held. I already tried it through the shaft and everything, and it seems to be fine, so I guess this will be more than enough for the thing. Well, it looks like it'll work. Works like a charm as well. Okay then. Okay, so here's the contacts after the vinegar. They did sort of get discolored because everything was covered up by corrosion, but they are clean now. And I'm going to show you all a little thing that I always do to not only prevent the spring from coming off anytime, but also to guarantee that there's going to be 100% contact in between the spring and the terminal. I usually solder the back where it has this slot where it goes through. I usually put a little bit of acid like this all around here, so the second I put the soldering iron with the solder on, it gets attached. And of course, right after that, let me see if I can get my tripod to work, because the fucking tripod's let me see. Okay then. That right there, and of course what I do is, let me see if there we go. What I do is I solder this like that, and I keep the iron right next to the touching the metal until it starts sticking to the tin, right? So we do that, and we make sure that it also has a little bit of surface taken on the back of the tin. There we go. So once we're done, this is how it's gonna look like. Right now you guys see it's starting to get colder. Just like this one right here. So I usually do that with both double contacts and regular, simple contacts. Some metals, it all depends on the product, and it all depends on what material they use. But I've seen some robots that the tins are made out of a different material when it's the double contact, so it doesn't really take any solder. I've seen that happen. It's somewhat a rare thing for that thing to be like that, but most of the time it's going to be all made out of the same tin. So that's another step closer to the repair of this thing. There's the thing done. I'm going to try another speaker because I think I'll need this speaker for Horny Willy. If you guys remember, well, I have never even shown it. I have this guy on a base. It has like it's on his underwear, and it has this speaker, but it blew up a long time ago, and I've always put random small speakers in it because I really didn't have a bigger one, and every time I would like try a non-plastic one, it would sound really quiet. So I'm gonna see how that turns out. So there it is. Okay, so I can see the mechanics are done. All I gotta do right now is solder these wires, these battery wires, just tuck them in there and put the side covers on. But I guess I would, take this chance to show you guys how it works. I put another speaker in it, so this one's going to Horny Willy. It sounds the same, only that a little bit quieter, but on this one there's hardly any difference. On the Horny Willy, that's where the difference is at. Plus, the speaker that I put, that's exactly this one, it's too bulky in the other one to fit, so this will both help another animatronic of mine and fix itself. So arms are sturdy as fuck, which is, check that shit out. And I guess we're ready to make a test run. So There we go. So I guess that everything that's left to do now is mount it all back together, right? I think so. Well, I put the original speaker back in it because I tried it on Horny Willy and nothing. It just sounded like shit, so this one's keeping its speaker. It sounds loud as it used to. But now one thing I'm going to do is change the button. This is the button it has. It's just a standard clicker button. But I really want to change it because I've noticed that you have to do certain additional pressure to actually, to activate it. And this is kind of a warning that this should be considered as a warning, because when it does that, it means that it's getting dirty inside, and it means that at one given point you're gonna have to do a shitload of pressure. You're gonna fuck up the button, and you're gonna have to regardless take it apart. So I have it already disassembled. I might as well change the button. So I have a bag here full of nothing but buttons that are brand new and in perfect condition. And here's one recommendation I'll give. So most of these animatronics have a button, a regular, one of these buttons, and two of the leads are cut. Now, personally, it's better when you grab one of these buttons and bend the leads. Let me show you what I mean. So these are all four leads of the button, and basically what I do is I usually just bend the two that are going to be, not part of the, basically the ones that are going to be pointing this way. I just bend them, and I either attach a wire or something, or I just do this, and that's it, and I just solder both leads together if this bullshit camera can actually focus. So it actually has two circuits instead of one. So if one goes bad, or whenever one goes bad, probably the other one will still work fine. It's usually what I do with switches as well, when they have 6 legs and they only use 3 or 2. So I guess I wanted to just throw that data in there. So we'll replace this piece of shit. Okay then, that was pretty good.